What's going on, guys? This is Paul with 12 Overview. I hope you all had a great holidays and a super duper happy New Year. Anyway, I'm starting off the new year with a review on our out of the box review on the Pioneer DEH-X9600BHS. It's almost a mouthful. Anyway, this is a Pioneer's top of the line radio without going into doubled in screens and everything. This radio averaged around 259, 95, 96, 97, or whatever. It's got a 1-year warranty. It's got nearly every possible feature you could possibly want in a radio. But anyway, I guess while we're thinking about features and stuff, let's go get this thing out of the box and see what all the stuff is in there and see what it has. And see. Alright, first thing we're pulling out is the install screws, CD keys. It looks like some little locks to hold the face in place so they won't be detachable. Got the wiring harness. Without that, they won't do nothing. Looks like a 3-foot USB extension cord. And a handy dandy remote. And we got one of those in there. It's always good for remotes. Alright, open the lid up and pull out the... Try to at least. Here you go. Pulling out the manual. Actually, they sent you a manual like last year. It was just a bunch of CDs. It's still pulling stuff out here. Oh, won't come out. Alright, here's the Bluetooth mic for the Bluetooth. That we can make hands-free phone calls. I'm going to pull the radio out. Alright, there's nothing else in the box, so we'll set that off to the side. Here's the warranty card. There's a 1-year, it says limited warranty, but it's 1-year warranty basically. Got the styrofoam, keep it from safe from shipping. Put that off to the side. A little plastic bag, and it's got the little corner protectors. I'm going to take those off. Keep it corners from being dinged up while shipping or handling or both. Alright, got those off of there. Alright, set that off to the side. Alright, now we got the radio out of the box. Let me get it mounted up and then we'll see what the back of it looks like, and I'll flip it around and we'll power up and see what the front looks like. Alright, we got everything plugged in right here. Well, actually not plugged in, but turn around and the back of it. I guess we'll start from the left hand side as usual and work our way to the right and see what all the features are. The first thing we come to is the FM antenna. You might require a special antenna adapter to catch FM stations if you want to do that, so you might look and see most newer cars requiring an adapter. Directly underneath it you have two 1 amp 5 volt USB outputs. You can either have two USB over here, two USB thumb drives, or plug that one thumb drive in here and the other one, that 3-foot cord, wrap it around so you can plug something else in the front. This little round port right here, this is for the Sirius XM module. That's an optional module that usually runs around $100 or so. You plug it in, you subscribe, and you have Sirius XM satellite radio. Next over here we got the fuse with the power port plug. That's where the power harness plugs into. Then we go past this heat sink here. This top plug right here, this little black tiny hole, is for the microphone. Down here is for the wired remote steering wheel control module input. That's another optional module you get for this radio. If your car steering wheel has controls for the factory radio on the steering wheel, you can purchase that optional module, plug it into here, wire it to the car, program it, and you can still control the new radio from the steering wheel. Here you got your front, rear, and subwoofer 4-volt pre-outs. That gives you several options for amps. You can just have just 1 amp. You can have 3 amps. You can have a 5-channel amp. You can have a 4-channel amp with a bass amp, or just a bass amp. All kinds of configurations of amplifiers. You can do that. As you can see, there's no other features on here. So let's go ahead and get it, turned around. We'll get powered up. We'll see what the front looks like. First thing is that's what we'll do is setup, so we'll go ahead and go in there. I'll hit the button here, which also in your volume of which also accesses as an enter key like on a keyboard. Language select, I'm going to say English. Yes. Calendar, we'll just go ahead and let's see here. See if we can figure out how to get past everything. Did it do anything? Did it do nothing? Okay. Oh, okay. Today's the 10th? No, 12th. Today's the 12th, okay. Yeah, today's January 12th, 2014. It is a Sunday. Alright, we're done with that. Clock setting, we'll just say it's 5 in the afternoon. If you want to do it 12 hour or 24 hour, it's depending on how you want to read your clock. Contrast is if you want to, however you want your display to look at different times of the day. Quit, yes. Okay. Now it's been booted up. It's got the little Pioneer symbol there. Demo start. The first thing you want to try to do is when you first get your new radio plugged in, is turn off that demo. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn that off real quick. I think it's in setup. Software update. So we'll go with this in a second. That's going to find the demo. Let's see here. Find the backup menu. There it is. System. That's what it is. The system. Set calendar. Clock setting. Engine time. Clock. Morning tone. Aux on. Demo off. Yes. Okay, demo's off. Alright, now we get that turned off. We'll go ahead and. Alright, first things first, has a nice shiny glossy black outfit. It's kind of, you know, straightforward and everything. The trim ring is glossy black. The kit that you might use to install it with, you know, may not require the trim ring, but if you did get to use it, it does look pretty nice. On the bottom of the trim ring, it's like an indentation that goes in and comes out. That's because the face flips down so you put your CD in. And there's your eject button right there. And that little space, you know, accepts the front of the radio going in, so it doesn't bind or anything. Over here you got your source or off button. You got your display, which also, you know, by default doubles as a backup menu button. If you hold it down, it does display. If you're in radio, you press the magnifying glass button. It goes to your presets. Select whatever preset you want. Let's say 107.9, enter, and I'm on channel 1.7.9. Let's see here, display off. Mix, that's for mix tracks. That's a free program you download from PioneerElectronics.com. If you have music on it, you can dump all your music or certain songs into this program, plug in a USB drive or thumb drive into your computer, and the program will select whatever beat that you give it and makes all the songs together like a DJ, so it'll be one continuous song. So when this mix tracks is turned on and it's on the USB, of course the lights will flash, do different things, and it'll be like, it'll play the song at the end of it and blend in the next song with a beat that you selected from within the program. Kind of neat, I suppose. Straight down underneath it, you got the band button. You got your phone button, which is, looks like your phone functions there. And over here we got a little button there. Over here you got your toggle, which also, you know, goes to your channels down, channels up, of course volume. And if you push it in, that's where you go to the menus. Over here, these go through your preset buttons one at a time. Preset, you see right here, P channel, preset channel 1, all the way up to 6, and then back to 1 again. And it's a neat little satellite blaring out, like, you know, like it's sending out signals, but it's not really. Mix tracks, Pioneer, Sirius XM ready, which means that, you know, it doesn't come with Sirius XM, but you have to get the module to get it. And here's your front aux input. That way you can have, you know, anything plugged into it. Laptops, old tape decks, Walkmans, your phones, whatever it has, the headphone jack output. You plug it here with an aux cable and you can listen to sound out your radio. Pretty neat. Alright, I guess we'll go into the menus. Actually, before that, we hit source and see what kind of sources we have. Right now we're on the tuner source, which, because it has HD radio, the first thing the radio is going to want to do is, whatever station we're on, it's going to see if that radio is broadcasting on HD radio. If it is, It'll automatically start playing HD radio, which is CD quality music coming from your local radio stations. If that station does not have HD radio, I'll just switch back over to analog and be like old times, old school. Alright, press the source. We got USB 1, USB 2, aux, which is here, Bluetooth audio. If your phone was hooked up, this is where you can listen to your phone. Let's see what else we got here. And HD radio, and of course now we're back to the front. If you had like a CD in there, or the iPod or something like your Android, that'd have a couple extra features in that little menu right there. Okay, guess we'll go into the volume knob here, which I'm turning by accident. You push it straight in. We got function, audio, entertainment, illumination, system, mix tracks, and back to function. So if you go into function, we got best stations memory, local, sync mode, blending, and back to best station memory. So that's all for function. And I'm going to press this little bent arrow to back out to the menu. Audio. Go into here, we got fader and balance. We know what that is. That's front, back, left, and right. Preset EQs, that's like broad, subwoofer, power bass, powerful, whatever, jazz, flat. Then GEQ is graphic EQ. Go into here, and you have a 5-band equalizer. Woohoo! What you do is you rotate your volume knob, and it moves the flashy cursor over to whatever bar you want to move. And when you get there, push in again, and you rotate your volume knob to adjust that one bar. This is the tweeter side, this is the bass side, and of course this is the middle side, or mids. So you put whatever you want on. You can adjust it. Every song sounds different, so you may have to adjust it a couple different times to get this right. Go to the next one, adjust it up or down. Middle. Like I said, it just depends on your hearing preferences. Everybody's is different. I'm just setting kind of about where I would set mine. Well, I think this highs over here would be a little higher. Yeah, somewhere in there. Kind of a good wave. And it also tells you what hertz or kilohertz you're running at. The higher the frequency that it goes into kilohertz, the lower the frequency drops down to hertz. Alright, we're back out of that menu. Okay, the next one on the audio menu is loudness. So we'll go to here. Got a low, mids, and so off, mids, highs, and lows. I use my volume knob to change those. Usually loudness and highs gives you a lot more pronounced bass and louder highs and stuff. Okay, we'll back out. The next one is subwoofer. Click on it. You can change it between normal or reverse. Usually it's just, or actually no, hang on, normal and off. So if you want to turn your subwoofer off and listen to all your regular speakers, this is where you can do it at. Turn it back on. The next one, subwoofer 2, and this actually tells you what the hertz is, where you want the output of the RCAs to come out at. Usually start off at 80 hertz. Every car's acoustic is different, so you have to adjust it a little bit differently. That, and it also depends on the box you have and all kinds of different factors get your sound just right. Alright, get out of here. The next one is bass booster. Gives a little bit of harder hit to the bass. Up to +6 or 0. The next one is high pass filter. That's if you want to take some of the bass out of your highs. Oh, that, hang on, what those. Fader balance. That actually was fader balance. Alright, now the next menu was on entertainment. And it does not mean a bunch of dancers come out and dance for you. And actually what this does is it selects the background. Like right now, look at some sort of little particles exploding with light shining through. Here's some still backgrounds. Here's a little cross board there, lines. More lines, crossboard, looks like a Cubert. Spectrum analyzer, so when the music's playing, you know, it's dancing and doing some pretty neat stuff. There's another spectrum analyzer for like a level indicator. And bubbles, woo, bubbles! We got dolphins swimming around. Pioneer sure loves dolphins, so they always seem to put them on there. As you can see, this changing colors too, but we'll get that here in a few minutes. Or you just have it to show the date and time. Alright, we'll leave it on the dolphins. Alright, we're back out of that. The next one is illumination. Key side, I believe this is going to be this over here. We'll go into here, get color scan, get custom, white, red, amber. As you can see, they're changing colors as I'm turning it. So here's green. All the buttons are green over here. Blue. Let's see what we can put on green. Alright, key side. Display side, which would be this over here. We'll make this blue. Okay, so we have green and blue. Key and display, this is where you can change all the colors at once. But since I want to keep this with green and blue, we'll just leave it like that for now. But the key and display makes both of them the same color. Phone. When you're using your phone, you can have it flashing. There's some effects going on. And then you can see what your function is by looking at the display over here. This is what happens when the phone's like, I guess, ringing and stuff. You can just see what it does. 5, 6, off. And we'll select that as my phone. Illumination effect on, we'll leave that on. That means it does different things while you're clicking on stuff. And back to key side, so I'm going to back out of that. The next one is system. I think we kind of went through it earlier. Ever scroll, you can turn it on if the song's longer. It'll just continue scrolling past the screen. Bluetooth audio on, that's if you want to listen to music from your phone using Bluetooth. Make sure that's on. Clear memory. That's probably to clear the Bluetooth memory or the remember the radio. Not sure about that. Yep. Okay. No, it clears memory. That's for the radio. That's Bluetooth apparently. Bluetooth version tells you what version of Bluetooth is. App connect modes, wires. That's what you use that USB cord for. And English, calendar, clock setting, EngineTimeAlert. Not sure what that means. I'll have to look at the manual. That's actually one of a feature I never used, but I'll find out for you all. I'll put it in the description. Warning tone, that's just the beeping stuff. Aux on, aux off. So, aux on, aux off. If you want to turn this off or on, usually it's always on, so why turn it off? But it gives you the option, just in case. And brightness. Down here you can turn the brightness down if it's too bright at night, or you can crank it up and leave it like it is. And contrast, I was playing it earlier. It's just a different version of brightness. We got here back to the scroll. Okay, so back out of this. Mix tracks. Of course, we already know it's a program that mixes the music together. Excuse me. This one here, you can just like short playback. It'll play like 1.5 to 2 minutes of the song before it switches over to the next song. So if you go in here, we got you can play 1 minute of the song, 1.5 minutes, 2, 2.5, 3, or just randomly. It'll play random lengths of each song. So one song maybe 1 minute, one song maybe 3 minutes. You never know. And see next here we got the flash area. Key and display, everything flashes. The keys over here, display will flash along with the music, when the mix tracks is turned on, or just the key side, or is off altogether. The next one is flashing color. You can tell what color to flash by the sound level mode. Display effect. You got mix tracks 1, 2, and off. So it kind of gives you some stuff over here dancing with the music. And after that we got cut in effect on. That's to make sure everything's working the way it should on the music part of it. Mixed settings, as if we weren't in the settings already for mixed tracks. Mixed, fixed, on, loop effect on, flanger effect, echo, crush, crossfade. You can turn all these off or on to make your music do different things. Oh, and that was all for the mix track settings. And we're back to function. That looks like all the features for all the menu settings at least. Let's see, we get here, go back to the radio station. If you press and hold down the source button, it does this. It just shows you a clock. And if you press and hold down the display off button, which also says mix on, you hold it down and it actually turns the display off. Or it's supposed to. Alright. I'm pressing it. Alright, nothing's happening. So, never mind. Delete what I just said, erase that from your memory, format your hard drive. Put display off. Okay, it only works when the radio's on. Alright, that's awesome. Okay, let's see, I think that's pretty much it for all the features. The volume knob has a nice little rubber grip on it, so it's nice and tight. But the only thing, it kind of jiggles just a little bit in this little slot there, so you may have to be careful if you're reaching forward and while you're driving, might pull it out or whatever. But if you have big fingers like me trying to change the channels, anyway, the radio station. You might accidentally hit the volume, so you have to kind of almost, use your fingers as far apart or use one finger at a time. But even I still catch myself kind of hitting because it catches on that little rubber stripper on the volume knob. But anyway, that's the DEH-X9600BHS. B is for Bluetooth, H for HD radio, and Sirius, or S for Sirius XM. Alright, we get all back in the box here. That was the Pioneer DEH-X9600BHS. That's a really nice radio for $259. Really can't beat that considering this series of radios a couple years ago was like $650. And a bunch of moving parts that went out within a year. But like at this one, all the moving part is just the CD player. Everything else is all digital. Anyway, really nice radio. I had no problems with them. Of course, they're still brand new for 2014. It's got Pandora. It also plays AAC files as well as WMA and MP3s. It also does RDS, which is I think radio data signal or something like that, or satellite, where it puts radio station information on the radio screens on the tuner stations. Smartphone compatible, which means Androids, iPods, possibly Blackberries. Variable illumination, three high volt, 4 volt pre-outs, and that's pretty much it. Really nice radio. Actually, pretty simple to use. Yeah, there is a little bit of learning curve, but once everything's set, you pretty much don't have to touch anything else. But anyway, this is Paul with 12 Overview. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a superbly day, and please subscribe.